are tuning in for the first time, I'm Amber Adams, a romance writer, and this is Romance in the Media. Yay! We can always use some more romance in the media, right? So I have great news for everybody out there. My novel, Star Spark, Games of the Gods Book 1, is now available in ebook and paperback over on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, sites like that. So I'll post links in the description below. Also, Book 2 is coming out this summer. I'm thinking more of a September 15th release, hopefully, if everything goes according to schedule, which it is right now, but that can always change. But right now, the 15th is been selected for the release date for Book 2, Games of the Gods. I will be posting a cover reveal for that book coming up soon. So be on the lookout for that. I'll probably do a live stream or a live video on either Facebook, and then I'll probably upload that video to YouTube and TikTok and everywhere else that you might follow me on. So just be on the lookout for that. It'll probably be, I'm thinking, the end of April maybe is when I'll do the cover reveal. So get ready for that. It's pretty exciting, you know, good stuff, right? So today I'm going to be talking about a show that I struggled to get through. This is a Disney Plus series review on the Willow show. Yes. Yeah, man, it was hard, okay, for me to keep my focus and for me to actually like it. Most of the time I was laughing because of how the story was going and how the characters were written. For me, it wasn't very good. Yeah, I give this show about 2.5 stars out of 4. Yeah, that's pretty low on my my scale here. As a kid, one of my favorite movies in the world growing up was Willow. So, imagine my happiness when Disney Plus said they were coming out with a Willow series. I was like, oh, this is so exciting. I can't wait for them to do more with this show, for them to go in neat, fantastic directions. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. And then, when it was finally airing and I watched the first episode, I was like, this is what we're doing with this show? I couldn't believe it. Their spoilers are going to be ahead. So if you haven't seen it yet and you're like not happy with my review of this show, go check it out for yourself. You might be into it. But this is just my point of view on how I thought about it. Now, what I did like about this show was we got some of the original actors coming back from the movie. We had Warwick Davis as Willow. We had Joanne Whalley as Sorsha. Val Kilmer's voice was heard, but because of his health, yeah, he couldn't be in the show, but at least he was there in spirit, and we could like, oh yeah, I can hear him. It's so great. But we wish he had some bigger idea for his character than just being off on some quest. Yeah, that was kind of a weird way to write him out of the show. Instead of just killing him off right offhand, they could have just done something else with him. They might not have killed him off, but I don't know if they're getting a season 2 or a season 3 because this, I don't know, maybe other people liked it more than I did. Yeah. It was not fun for me. It felt like a chore. You don't want to watch a show or a movie to feel like it's a chore. You want to watch it because you want to enjoy it. So, now, onto the meat of this sandwich. This is just my opinion. So, I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. You don't have to continue on. But this is what I thought of it. I was hoping the show would get better the more into the episodes I got. Yeah, so, but it just went downhill, and it went downhill fast. The storyline isn't terrible, okay? It's just okay. It's your typical prophecy given, and they have to hide Elora Danan again because evil is after her. Yeah. By the way, I might jump around through the series, but the final battle, the CGI villain, was a total boo-hoo. I was like, really? The character, she's fighting a CGI villain and not, I don't know, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right at all. No. And it was weird. It was weird. Okay. Somewhere, yeah, so the prophecy was given that Elora, the baby, had to be hidden away because evil was after her again. So they sent her away. Somewhere where even Saoirse and Madmartigan would not be able to find her. Nobody knows where she went. It's been a mystery, and that's what led Madmartigan to leave and go find her, because he didn't believe the prophecy. He was going to bring her back, and if the prophecy was real, they were gonna fight the evil. That was the best thing to do, was to fight the evil. So, it was not a horrible start. The costumes and the worlds, and the cities were amazing, and the fantasy, the costuming, I know I probably said already, the costumes, was the fantasy setting, the world is brilliant, the way Lucasfilms knows what they're doing, and the way they bring, out of this world imagination onto our screen. The monsters were cool. The battle scenes are epic. The romance in the show is cheesy and over the top. And I'm hugely disappointed in it. I know this show was not supposed to be a heavy romance show. No, it was supposed to be a fantasy movie, fantasy show with romantic undertones. So that means it would not take center stage, but which means they're not supposed to focus on the love, but rather the fantasy world and the battles and the fights and the good versus evil, that whole thing that you expect from a fantasy movie. No, I was wrong. I was completely wrong. The relationships were heavy, they were angsty, and they were and not in a way that made me want to know more. Okay? The main focus became the romance, and the fantasy came secondary. Now, I'm all for that happening. I mean, I write that myself, but you're getting a romance. It says it on the back. This is a romance. This is a romance novel. The fantasy is there, yes, but it's going to rely heavily on heavy romantic tones, and it's intertwined. This just seemed to be like, okay, let's put a whole bunch of romance here, and hardly any of the battles here. Let's put a whole bunch of romance here, and angst, and we're breaking up, and we're getting back together. But let's just go on a quest. Let's do the quest. Uh-oh, end of the episode. Let's go to sleep. Yeah, no. I was so wrong. I was hoping that the romance could be cute and sweet and subtle, and kind of like in Willow the movie, how it was, there was an attraction, but it wasn't heavily focused on until like the last 15, like the last 20 minutes of the movie, when you realize that Madmartigan actually does love Saoirse, and it's not just the magic spell that the brownies put on him. No, but yeah, the romance became the focus, and the fantasy battles and the quest became secondary. Now, out of the romance, the relationship I did enjoy the most, the best, was Kit and Jade, even though Kit annoyed me most of the time. I did love Jade. I love Jade. She's one of my favorite characters, and she deserves to have, the love of her life as well, even if they're supposed to be apart, because Kit's the princess and she's just like supposed to be like the knight serving her. But yeah, that was okay. But then it gets a little heavy. The romance gets really, really heavy, and I'm like, all right, I'm uncomfortable now. Because it's so angsty. ooh, teen drama. Teen drama. I remember being a teen. Drama was crazy and you're uncomfortable and I don't know, just oh. No, it felt really heavy. As, you know, it should have been, I think it should have lessened the seriousness of the show, the quest, going to find the prince who was kidnapped by evil monsters in the middle of the night. Yeah, that was the quest. They had to go find him. They had to rescue him because the withered crone was after Allura, but she's nowhere. So why would she kidnap the prince? Who was annoying, by the way. Annoying, like bad annoying. I'm not kidding. All the stuff that came out of his mouth was modern day lingo and open shirts with flowers and buttons. He didn't even fit in the world. His whole, it was the way the writers wrote him. It's like, I just wanted to shut off the TV. It was so bad. You know, a couple of modern slang and phrases here and there is okay. But when that's all that's coming out of his mouth, instead of the other characters are not speaking all like that. Just him. And it's super annoying. And he's like this, oh my gosh, no, I do love you. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy to just break your heart and date somebody else. They actually used the word date in the show. They didn't have dates. Not in this time period, in this fantasy world. Dates wasn't a thing. So where did that come from? I was like, okay, writers, they must not have really studied Willow as the movie before, because it was just full of weirdness that I'm just like, it clashes and it pulls you out of the fantasy element, and it doesn't feel right. It's like, it wasn't, I know they're trying to reach a younger crowd. I get that. It's not there just to appease us oldies. But they got the cheesy modern day teen drama phrases and the fantasy setting like this. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Now we're going to talk about the character Allura. Allura Denon. You know, the show should have been called Allura and not Willow. Which I know I heard he said that. Allura was revealed much too soon, in my opinion. Yeah. But that's coming from a writer's standpoint, a writer's point of view. If I was writing the script, which I'm not, it's okay. I know you can say, well, you didn't write it then, blah, 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 but I don't want to do fan fiction, so I'm not going to. I would have waited to reveal who she was until around the last episode. Like, I would have had her trained this whole time. You know, she was kitchen staff at the palace. Hidden. You know, nobody knew who she was. And she was this beautiful young blonde woman. And, you know, and a servant. So she was working, toiling, you know, nonstop, day after day. And in love with the prince. And he was in love with her. Well, but then he flirts with other girls, so maybe he's not in love with her, and he even like accuses him of two-timing her. I don't like the modern day teen phrases that are coming out of their mouths. Yes, they're young 20-somethings, but none of the other characters were speaking like this except for them. And I get it. It's creative license. They're gonna write whatever they want to write them saying. It just doesn't fit. I can't. Oh, I even had to stop watching the show for a couple of days because I'm like, I just can't do this. But then I went back and I'm like, well, let's finish the first episode because I hadn't even finished it yet. But I would have possibly written her to train this whole time by Willow when she went to go save her boyfriend that got kidnapped by monsters. That's what's her goal. She had to save her boyfriend. She had to save him. So they all agreed to accompany her, and because, you know, Kit, her brother, got kidnapped, so she decides to set off on her own because they didn't want her with them. So she goes off in this completely different direction, and then by the end of the episode, it's revealed to her that she is the Laura Denon they've all been looking for, and I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing. All right, okay. This is what we're doing. Lovely. Thank you, writers, for dropping the ball here a little bit. Us knowing who Laura Denon in the beginning was disappointing. It felt like they're trying to rush the storyline. I mean, from what I saw, they were going to plan at least 3 seasons. They had plenty of time to stretch this out a little bit, at least to the end of this season. I think it would have been a lot better and more of a shock moment if Laura was revealed at the end. Also, her hair changes color. First it's like blonde, you know, blonde through most of the movie, and then at the end it's red like it was supposed to be in the original movie because the baby was a redhead, not a blonde. But it switched back and forth without any explanation whatsoever. She wasn't under a spell or anything to hide her. She still looked like herself, but she was blonde. Oh yeah, let's forget that Laura had red hair. Oh no, yeah, writers, I think she's supposed to have red hair. Let's put that in. Oh no, but we've already shot all of this. I know, it's okay. Well, we'll add it in after. And it just was really weird. It was just really weird. Oh, it was just really weird. I just felt really blah about this. It was not good for me. Now, one character I do love was Jade. She's tough, caring, and her battle scenes were really great. She's brilliant with the sword. I loved her relationship with Kit. I thought it was, when they weren't being dramatic and over the top, it was really sweet, and you could tell they really, really cared about each other. Everything was perfect in that regard, except for the back and forth of will they, won't they. I got a little annoyed with that because it was like almost every episode was well, I can't be with you. Well, I can be with you, but I can't be with you. Oh no, we cannot be together. I don't trust you. How could you not trust me? I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, okay, just kiss and get it over with, because you obviously two are in love with each other, and you just need to do that. You just need to do that. My second favorite character was actually Borman. I think that's his name. I don't know. I didn't really I think he's the only, besides Willow, was the only guy that looked over the age of 30 in the quest, in the adventurers. There's only 2 people under the age of 30, and everybody else, there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 young people. Only, Willow and Borman, who's this thief that was arrested and who served in the wars with Mad Mardigan. So he's friends with Sorsha. So she let him out to help her daughter and her friends find her son. So that's how he got roped into coming along. And plus, he was gonna try to escape and sneak off and stuff, but he ends up becoming a much better character as the series progresses. So he was a good character. I did like him. He was funny. He had some great lines. He had some great sarcasm. He brought intelligence to the group, and everyone's just thinking emotionally. He was there to think tactfully, and just like Willow too. Tactful, smart, using your brains. Don't go head in because your heart is hurting. Just, let's take time and, make a plan. I have a plan. He had a plan the whole time, finding this magic suit of armor that will make him invincible. So this was his reason for going along so easily with the adventurers. There was something he needed to find. Yes. I liked him because he was an added comic. He was added humor. that, you know, Mad Mardigan had. He was you know, he was the greatest swordsman that ever lived, okay? So he had comedy, he had arrogance, and it was silly because he kept getting brought down many pegs but then he really is the greatest swordsman that ever lived. So we needed somebody like that, and this guy was pretty close, considering we didn't have Mad Mardigan in the show, because, you know, his actor, and they were very respectful not to cast somebody else in that role, but I don't know. They could have done a little more with his storyline, but he was just missing. He was missing. Now, one of the scenes that got me was Jade killing her mentor, but that's usually how those things go. In order for the apprentice to supersede the master, he has to die at either her hand or somebody's hand so that the torch can be passed on and that he can be proud of her. Her mentor was actually under a spell and he was becoming evil. So she actually did him a favor because only death could bring his release, and she gave it to him. She was very, very sad, and I'm like, oh no, poor Jade. She just lost her father figure and her mentor and her teacher and everything. The only family she's known. It was just taken away from her. She had to kill him. That was truly, truly, truly sad. Yeah, that got me a little bit because I love Jade and I don't want to see her get hurt. At least emotionally. No, the battle scene's fine. That's a little backwards. But you get hurt in battles. Her heart shouldn't have to hurt too. Now the artwork for the ending credits at the end was really cool. But the music at the ending credits was not. One of the songs was okay because it fit a little bit, but then they just kept putting really like 80s hits, yes. I like that they used 80s hits because the movie was in the 80s, but it didn't fit. It doesn't fit in the show. Why are they doing this? Now, one of the coolest episodes, in my opinion, in this series was episode 4, where they have to journey to Bavmorda's castle. You know, she was the evil sorceress from the movie who, you know, luckily Willow beat her by being smart. And so, yeah, she actually electrocuted herself. I was like, oh yeah, that's how she died. That was silly. Oh well. She didn't have to use any magic or anything. She just electrocuted herself with the lightning. I'm like, oh, okay. I forgot about that. I forgot how she died. I thought, you know, for some weird reason, my mind was saying, oh, there was a battle, and she wasn't. No, she wasn't. She went to strike him with her wand, and the bolt of electricity just totally, like, took her out. And I'm like, okay. Forgot about that part. I know it was one of my favorite movies growing up, but I did not remember how she died. Yeah. But that was a cool episode, the episode 4, because it's creepy. They're facing their past. You know, some of the characters are facing their past. So you get little snippets and scenes from the original movie, and the music, the score is there. You're like, oh, this is how it should have been. This is why we needed this episode, because it makes you feel better. What I didn't really care for, the modern songs and hits and the fantasy writing. And they would pop up throughout the episodes too, not just at the end credits. If it was just at the end credits, I could be okay with it. But no, they would pop up randomly, and like there was this one scene. They get captured in the forest by this band of like think Robin Hood, you know, a large village of people, and it's like a dance club, okay? And there's like this. They're playing the song Crimson and Clover, and I'm like originally there's no like added Celtic beats or anything or drums or like flutes or anything. It's just the song. It's the same song that we heard like in the 70s and the 80s. It's just the same song playing there, and I'm like, am I watching a teen drama or am I watching a fantasy movie? Because they're just dancing like in a dance club, and I'm like, okay, all right, so. this came completely out of nowhere. I understand festivals and bonfires and dancing and everything, but it just, they're like slow dancing like you would in a, in a dance club. In a dance club, dude. And this is where they gain the trust of some of the people, which I was kind of hoping that they would have, I was hoping that some of them would have gone off on the quest with them, but no, everybody stayed behind, except for the leader. I can't remember her name. She wasn't in it very long. She was only in it for 1 or 2 episodes, that was it, and then she escapes, and she saves her friends when they get abducted by trolls. The trolls. Yeah. I had an issue with them because they weren't the same trolls from the original movie. No, they weren't grotesque monsters that Willow was afraid of in the first movie. No, they stood upright, they talked, they had intelligence, they were comic relief is what they were. And I don't know why they changed from original source material from the trolls that they were actually established and didn't name these characters some other Fae lore, beast or creature. They could have named it something else instead of the trolls because trolls were already established. They were already set. But they went and changed everything about trolls. The trolls had this underground society and they were, they had armor and gold and secret, hiding places and treasure. Like, this is what we're doing with this. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are you doing this, writers? Why are you doing this to already established trolls that were already established as grotesque monsters that we were hoping to get an epic battle out of? Instead, they're just running around crazy. They don't even really get to fight. Nope. No fight between the trolls. They just kind of get tricked and they all escape. No. They were mostly used for comedy relief. That's where we at least got to meet Allegor. I don't even remember his name. He wasn't in it very long. Allegor, he was Christian Slater's character. I was kind of hoping he was going to stick with the show because then Borman would have a friend. Somebody besides Willow his age. Imagine that. I'm sure it gets tiring, having to try to always, tell people that he's not sneaky. I would have loved to see fights between him and Allegor throughout the rest of the series on who abandoned who and punches and thrown and like more action than we got. We didn't get any of that. He got killed off. He saved them, but he got one episode really, just one. They could have added so much more to this series if they kept the characters alive that were actually cool, actually meant something, who also didn't talk like they were, going to high school in the year 2000. Sorry, my throat's a little dry. This show is giving me a little yelly. I'm gonna drink some water real quick. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah. I was talking about music. See how I went off? It happens. I have notes here, too, to help me direct me back, but even then, it gets a little weird. But I was talking about the music, yes. In this fantasy setting, the songs didn't work for me. Instead, it just made me go, okay, oh, what? This is weird. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. No. See, if they wanted to have these modern songs in this show, they could have done it the same way that Bridgerton did it. They rearranged the music. They rearranged the scores, and it's the songs, and you don't really hear any lyrics, but you know the tunes. They could have done that. And added the beats and the drums and the flutes and the lutes and the mandolins and all the music that you expect from a fantasy movie to be there. Yeah, so the music, I don't know who was responsible for that. Oh, God. Now, in the last episode, when they finally reach the Immortal City, and they meet up with Prince Eric. Now, he's been tricked this whole time, and he's actually been drinking this sludge from a worm to keep him hypnotized and under the Withered Crone's, who's the dark evil, under the Withered Crone's power. And what she said, it was juice from the worm, so that he's been drinking this whole time. So all through my mind, all I've been thinking when I heard this was the Futurama episode where they're drinking slurm. It's actually just worm slime from their butt. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. That's all I could think of was, I'm like, did they steal that? Did they steal that from Futurama? I don't know. But he was drinking worm sludge and, like, you know, worm goo. So all I kept thinking was of slurm, and Fry drinking it and saying, ew, and still drinking because he's addicted to it. So, and he was still drinking it after he knew what it was. I'm like, dude, you were dumb. You were as dumb as a bag of rocks. I don't know about you. How did you survive this long? Anyway, they finally confront Prince Eric, A-R-I-K, not Ariel's Prince Eric, but Prince Eric. They meet up with him. He's been completely transformed, and he got a haircut, and he looks evil. He looks ready, and looks ready to fight, and he looks so cool now. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. This is the moment where this show gets saved. He's evil now. I can deal with this. I can deal with an evil brother that they have to fight. This is excellent. Oh yeah. So I was ready. I was there. And then, guess what happened? Yeah, he opened his mouth and he opened his mouth. That's all I'm going to say. He opened his mouth and out came all this gibberish and weirdness that I was just like, dude, no. This is what I'm forcing myself to watch. I know I didn't have to force myself, but I really wanted to give this show a really... I was hoping it was going to get better. I really was. But yeah, I thought an evil battle with the brother was going to be the show's saving grace, and sadly, it was not. I just threw my hands up and threw my notepad across the floor, and I'm like, this series needs help. This series needs massive help. But this is just my interpretation, of course. Now, I could be wrong. A lot of you are thinking, how can she say that about my show? I love it. Don't ever say anything bad about it. I'm just finding all of the flaws in this show that just detract from how I could have enjoyed it a little bit more. Now, the original movie, yes, is far from perfect, okay? And yes, there are a few instances where they throw out our 21st century lingo and words and brownies talking smack and it's limited. It's not overt. It's not totally overly done. And nothing there really pulls you out of the fantasy element. You're still in it. You're still submerged in it. Yeah, the lingo was pretty decent. There weren't sayings like ganked for killed. Laura actually says, ganked you. I'm like, they didn't talk like that, lady. Oh my gosh. I'm kind of like, what writer put those words in your mouth? It's not right. Or saying things like, I'm going to kick your ass. They never said things like that. Not even Lord of the Rings will they say that. Not even, any Neverending Story, they didn't say that. Not even in, Legend, they didn't say that. You pick out any fantasy movie, they did not say, I'm gonna kick your ass. And they didn't say, they didn't curse all the time. Not that I don't have anything against cursing, believe me. If I'm not on screen, I'm like a drunken sailor on leave, okay? Every other word that comes out of my mouth is F this, I hate this, blah, blah, blah. But for video purposes, I try to clean up my vocabulary. I have nothing against cursing. Believe me, it's a pastime. I do it. I enjoy it. It makes me feel better when I'm having a rough day. Like when I got done watching this show. But yeah, can't. Yeah. No, the brownies. Oh my gosh. The brownies. Yeah. First of all, my favorite brownie wasn't there. I guess I don't know what happened to him. I didn't check. I didn't want to find out if he died or not. Or the one with the spiky hair, you know, not the one with the hat. The one with the spiky hair. I don't know if the actor is still among us. I don't want to be like, oh, he's dead. Oh, no wonder it was in the show. I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. I wasn't going to investigate it until after this video was over. But now the brownies is mostly all gone. I guess they didn't have a lot of big budget to do a whole village of brownies. So the brownies, it's him and his wife. He got married. The one with the hat, he got married. But this part was really weird. I don't even know why they even had them in there if they were just gonna do this. So they're wearing pajamas. Like silk pajamas, like he's wearing pajamas with a bathrobe. And it completely breaks the scene. It breaks the scene because it feels like his wife, she's in a t-shirt that has like a heavy metal band on it. You know, like I don't know if it was like Metallica or something, and she's wearing a onesie that has, you know, the cat ears and the tail. I like those are cute. A lot of people in my family have those, and I was trying to find one for me, but why were they in t-shirts and bathrobes and slippers and modern day things when they're in this fantasy element? I was like, what? Why did they do this? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't know what happened. And all they do is the brownie, he just gives Willow a leaf. He says it's got something on it, and they didn't even use the leaf. It should have been a magic leaf. It should have had some kind of spell on it, but it just gets, he's like, okay, I'll take this. I think they just wanted to put the brownie, the guy who played the brownie, in there because it's paying homage to the original movie, but no. Whoever you are, writer who did that, and anyone who thought that was a good idea, anyone who thought that was a good idea and approved that, okay, I've lost all hope. It's gone. All hope is gone. But man, this, I don't even have words. God, I've got no more words. Yeah. So yeah, the brownies were not. I was like, this is a crazy. What the F, man? What is this? And what also really grinds my gears is when we get the really cool characters that end up getting killed off, or one episode or 2 episodes. They all end up dying. The hilarious men-hating ladies who were ready to stand beside Alara and fight with her, alongside her, not with her, fight alongside her, because they were devoted their lives. They're devoting their lives to her. And they don't even last, and they're good fighters. They really are, but they don't even last 5 minutes. Nope. I was kind of hoping that they would be tagging along with the adventures too, because they could have used a bunch of other characters to break up the you know, it just got redundant, and it got, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It got predictable. You knew what was coming. With the more angst was on its way, more teenage or young 20-something teen angst was on its way. You could feel it, and yep, it was there. Those 2 wonderful ladies got killed off within 5 minutes of meeting. I can't. Yeah, and Allegor, Christian Slater's character, I know I mentioned him already. He got killed off. You know, we could have had cool characters join in, but maybe the budget wasn't It wasn't big enough. That's my guess, is why they killed them all off. But then I think they lost out on a great cast of characters by killing off all the really cool ones that can really, really fight and would have been an asset to the group. Okay, so the show wasn't all bad. Okay, I know I said a lot of things, negative things about it, but it wasn't all bad. Okay. What kept me watching was Warwick Davis, was Borman having his, oh my gosh, he was funny, at least he was funny. The battle scenes were epic. I'm a sucker for swords and monsters, so that was good. All the fights were good. The monsters were excellent. I could have done with a lot less drowning angsty drama in this show. I do understand that they were on a rescue mission, but it got a little heavy. And I'm like, this isn't really what Willow was kind of, yeah, there were dark moments, but there was also lighthearted, and it was fun, and it's adventure and a slight romance, a little bit. Not the whole show becoming all just about romance and love and everything, which I do. I'm a romance writer. I'm a romance writer, and if I thought that was too much, that's a lot, okay? It's too much. It's just too much. Also, there was no hint at all of the spirit of the forest. Not like in the original movie, you know, the entity, the fairy. I don't know if she was fae or what, but she's the one that sent them in the original movie on the quest of where Laura needs to go and why she's the savior and all the good stuff. There was no spirit of the forest in this movie at all. So they were kind of just, they knew what their quest was already, but there was usually some bigger, deeper meaning, and we didn't get one. Just to save her brother, and I don't know. I'm sure all of the people under the age of 35 probably really liked this series. The way the characters are written seems to be a popular way to write young characters these days, young women and men characters these days. But it's the same reasons why I didn't like the Rain series on Hulu or Netflix. I think it's Hulu. Or the Rosalind series. I didn't like that either because of the way they're talking. You see the Rosalind character, the Rosalind series. That one was, it's Shakespeare, okay? So why are they talking like, oh, I'm in a club, let's go here, let's do that. Oh, I just couldn't stand it. He was two-timing me this whole, that's not, again, creative license, I get it. I totally get it. But you're messing with Shakespeare. I know, I can't. I just can't. I was mostly stuck with it for the nostalgia from the Willow show, from the Willow movie, the original movie. I like the snippets and the instrumentals from the original movie. I like some of the characters returning, even though their return was really, really odd and weird. So, but that's really all it is for me, is what I liked about it. The epic battles, the monsters. The heavy-handed romance, no, I could have. But that's really all it was. Yeah. Now, this was just my opinion. I am not increasing my star rating for this. It was sad, and I'm like, not in a way that made me cry. I want to watch more. I want to watch it again. No. I can delete it from my stuff now. It can go away. So yeah, I had high hopes for this show going in. Like I said in the beginning of this super long video, that I was hoping that they were going to be great. I was ready for it to be great, and it just was not great. Not even good. Not even okay. So, unfortunately, this is what Disney Plus has given us. Hopefully, any other Disney Plus show that they're going to make after an 80s fantasy movie, please don't. Just don't. Don't. Or hire other writers outside, you know. Hire a mix of writers between, you know, the ages of, I don't know, 18 and 50. There you go. Between the ages of 18 and 50. Put them all together in a room and have them hash out ideas. Then maybe we'll get a well-rounded story with equal enough for everybody, instead of just modernizing everything and just ruining a timeless classic, in my opinion, of a fantasy movie. So that's all I've got for you today, friends. This video was super long. I know, I'm super sorry, but it was a full series review. So until next time, friends, I will see you soon. La da da da.